informal here.
Yeah, this is right. This is Broad Street side here, and then this is the cottage side over here.
The building.
Okay, which side? Over behind there? Oh, okay. So over here, over by the Jomi side over there, just before him. Okay, yep.
It was a Hunt building.
Yeah, so from across the street, it would look like that, I guess. I guess this is pretty much where you would be looking at, I think, right?
But it's all
Well, this here is the cottage side.
okay.
Yeah, this is the Broad Street side, this is the cottage side. Well, the bank's here, but you're looking at it from Cottage Street, from the opposite side of the street. So, from here, yes, this is the entrance over here, yep. This is from the main street here. We don't know yet. I was looking at maybe a bagel place. I think I want to do like a quick serve, like something where, because it's only 1,600 square feet. Well, there's a bunch of coffee shops already kind of in the area, because you've got the one right down the road there. Is she okay? But I would think I would like I heard of pop-up bagels, but they're coming out of New York, and all they do is just make bagels and cookies. That's it.
Oh, you sit here. You're gonna be
Almost as
running
good.
the show.
It's original New York.
You're running the show.
Get over there.
Seth, we're ready. Okay. Joe, we're ready to start.
Yes.
One second. Yep.
Good evening, everybody. Call to order the community meeting here for the 750 Broad Street proposed project. I'm Mayor Mike Melise. Joining with me is District 3 Councilor Ken DeFazio, Director of Planning Bob Luongo, and my Chief of Staff TJ Lacey is here with us this evening. This is an informational meeting on a project that's proposed at 750 Broad Street in East Weymouth. Since I took office in July, myself and the Director of Planning have made a process of informing the neighborhoods, keeping the neighborhoods informed with the District Councilor. This is just the beginning stages of this project. Nothing is etched in stone, but it's a proposal. We want to keep the neighborhood informed. So with us tonight is the proponent, Joe Grader, is here tonight, which will fill us in on the project. Like I said, it's the proposed redevelopment, former Hunt's building in Upper Jackson Square at 750 Broad Street. So, Joe, I'll lead it on to you.
Sure, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys all taking your Thursday night to spend with me and learn about this building that we're proposing to put up here. This is going right where the Hunt's building is, the former residence of the Jackson Square Artisans. They have moved on. They're in a new place. That's sort of just a barn in the back. It's about a half-acre site that we have here. We've owned this property for almost 20 years now, and now that with the new zoning that's allowed Jackson Square to sort of see its sort of resurgence in a way with everything that's coming, we wanted to take the opportunity to do something better here too. The other project we have done in town, I grew up in Weymouth. I've lived in Weymouth for a very long time. My business, Atlantic Mechanicals, in Weymouth. My father started that in 1982. It's been there since then. We built the Fuel America building that you've seen over in Weston Park. That's us. So we've already done projects similar to this. That one was 42 units. This one's going to be 30. We have two separate entryways here to divide up the traffic, so you're not going to be stuck with this sort of unending traffic flow coming from either space. As a result of that, too, we also have done enough of indentations working with the planning board here so that this looks not just like a canyon as you're driving down. We want to make sure that it is diverse enough in its structure so that it looks nice from every angle. That's going to include sort of the building materials and everything, and that's why it looks the way that it does here. We want to make sure that it is a contributing factor to the beautification of the neighborhood. In there, we do have space here for a retail restaurant on, we were just saying before. We're going to maybe do sort of a quick serve there, something kind of a breakfast place, bagels, something along those lines. We know that the projects down the street, like where the Venetian is, they're looking to have certain things going there. So I want to work with them in concert so we don't repeat ourselves and make sure that we offer a very walkable suggestion of amenities for the area so that there's something different here, here, and here. So people come here, they visit, they enjoy it, they stay, they go on one end, walk all the way down to the other end of Jackson Square. That's what it's really meant to look like. I think that was sort of the original initiative that we had in coming up with the zoning for this area. So we want to contribute as best we can to the neighborhood, to the town. So this is what we've come up with for the main structure. And we modeled this after something that we want to look timeless. I've seen a bunch of the newer buildings that go up in different places. I don't think that they are going to look good in 25, 30 years. I want to see something that's going to look good forever. And I don't think this is too far away from a type of structure you'd see 30 years ago and say, hey, that looked good, and a type of structure you'd see go up today and say, hey, wow, that still looks good. So that's what we're looking at. It's kind of what we're trying to model this after. It's something that's going to be, like I said, contributing to the beautification of the neighborhood. So I'm happy to take any questions. We're here because we want to work with the town. We want to work with the neighborhood. Like I said, I grew up here. I lived in Weymouth for 20 years. And I actually lived in the Weston Park building for the last 5 years up until a few months ago. So I lived in my own product. I know what I want to see in a building. And we work with everybody in that process, too, to kind of add to that entire park, as you can see when you go to the concerts and stuff. So anything I can answer, any questions about we have from the town or from, and we'll be going through a more extensive process with the town, too. So this is really about you guys or about the building itself, about me, about anything else I can possibly answer, suggestions even.
Anyone that would like to ask a question, excuse me.
Hold on.
Excuse me.
Ma'am,
Overflow.
ma'am,
So-
you have to,
If you
can
could
you
come up
go
to
to the microphone?
state your
'Cause
name and address for the record,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
This is being televised.
I'm just-
You look beautiful, don't worry.
My name is Mary Ann Lyden. I live at 16 Cottage Street. I'm right across the street.
Thank you.
I'm just concerned about the overflow with traffic, because we have, that street right now, Cottage Street, is used as a go-between between Broad Street and Commercial Street. And we have a lot of, and I'm just concerned about guests coming, parking in my driveway, parking across my driveway. We have the problems with, when
Yep.
there's a soccer game going on, this happens on Cottage Street.
So
So-
many of our units
that-
here actually have tandem parking spots. They'll have one spot that's designated for them. They'll have a guest that'll be able to park behind them.
Okay.
If we have a crazy amount of guests, I can't imagine we're going to allow a party to take place in the building. It's going to allow for anything further than that, so.
All right.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Anastasios Saidaris. I'm in Jackson Square for over 40 years now. I used to have the House of Pizza, now I have the Ellis Wine Cellar, and now I have the 766 Broad Street.
You're a direct neighbor on one side.
Who's a neighbor, yeah. I like to see the new things coming, but I want to be safe too. So far, I don't know how far is this property from my property line.
So you and I should actually meet and talk about what that will look like and where the line is and how far from the property line. So I intended to talk to you. I want to do the community meeting first, and then I'll swing by the wine cellar, and you and I can go over what that looks like.
Excellent.
Because I do want to work
Have
with you
to-
toward that as
have
well.
to notice you, years ago, the building, your building,
Yes.
and my building was connected together. There's a lot of pipes going through my building to this building and the garage to the street.
Anything that would have been done through easement, we're going to have to go over anyway, and we're going to have to talk about what a construction easement would look like too. And then anytime that there's anything that would pass through that would require dig safe or otherwise, if there is something there that's affecting your building that comes through our property, we can talk about the best way to bypass that so that you don't have an interruption. Because I think you have tenants there now.
Yes.
We're going to make sure that we don't interrupt their ability to have,
Yep.
the quiet enjoyment of your
Did you know
tenancy.
who is the line now?
We have the line. We know where it is.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we did, if you hold on here, so when we did all of our, this isn't just pictures here. So we've done the elevations and everything over on this side and the materials, and I have all my plans done based on already having an engineer come out and do the site work. So we know exactly where the designations are. But you and I can talk about that separately, and we'll go
How
over exactly what
far
has to
away
get
and
done and what's there. And if you may have more knowledge than I do about what goes on to your side, anything you can give me over there would be
I
helpful.
know it was pipes, and I don't know how affecting each
Probably
other.
drainage, if anything, if it's done
Drains from
through.
behind to go to the street.
Yep.
I don't know if they go to your property or they go straight.
Well, I mean, we have to do a drainage study for our side too, for all stormwater. So we're going to know exactly where that's supposed to run. If it impacts where yours is already running, we can talk about how to do a bypass for that. When it comes to looking at anything that relates to utilities, that's usually done through a temporary or permanent easement by the utility company themselves, so we can't even affect that anyway. And we'll look through that as well. DigSafe will have all those records on their own, and I'll make sure that we aren't
Excellent.
interrupting your service.
It's 2 trees there.
Yes, and
One tree stay, the
Yeah.
other three I don't know
there's
because
one
it's
that's,
a half and
that
half.
crosses both that I know about.
Okay.
So, like I said, I think you and I should sit down and
Okay.
and I'll
Excellent.
swing by. I'll come by the wine shop, I guess.
Yes, of course.
All right, perfect.
Thank you.
No problem.
Anybody else? Step up, sir. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jim Morse. I live right on Pleasant Street. I just have a quick question. Timing-wise, and I know this is the very early stages of this, do you anticipate construction of this being during or after construction of the lower square?
I can't speak to the timing of the lower square. I would say at the very earliest for us, we'd be looking at June-ish to do some demo and the other stuff, and then the building
This year?
construction. Yeah, building construction later this year in the fall. On the later stages, obviously, it gets pushed back, and maybe we start a year from now. But there are a lot of steps in between here and there that have to take place. But I'd say it's a range of June to December to start.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
No problem.
Hi, my name is Mark Taladian. I have a couple of pieces of property in the square. Can you address the mix of the units, bedrooms,
Sure.
and so forth, and also the parking per unit?
Yeah, so we have what's going to be mostly studios with the I think it's 4 two-bedrooms throughout the entire building. The rest are studio apartments, but they're essentially structured, it's very similar to a one-bedroom size unit with the kind of the barn-style door that goes across it. Each one will have the required amount of parking spots that we're supposed to have, which is 1.5 per unit that we have there. So they're going to be a series that has, it's 1.5, right, Bob?
Yeah.
Confirm that for the zoning, right? So we'll be a series there that are going to have, like you said, sort of a tandem setup, so that if they do have a guest, they'll be able to park directly behind them.
It's all underground, under the building?
It's all underground. There is no surface parking.
Thank you. Anybody else? Again, oh. Yeah.
Jim Clark with the Historical Commission.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Hi, good to see you again, Joe. Can you show where the curb cuts are going to be on the plan? Do they show on the plan, or?
It's not going to be on this one, but we can. I have where that breaks out on the site, but I just didn't bring those with me.
Okay.
So I can get that to you separately if you like. And we'll be going through a more extensive process for that as we go through the DPW and the department head meetings,
Right.
which will happen sometime the next month or so, I think.
Yeah.
And then at that point, that may move, right, depending upon what the fire department, everybody has to say.
Great, good, thank you.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, as I stated in the beginning, this is just an informational meeting, just to get the proposal out there. It still has to go through planning, zoning, where everything will be tweaked, and I'm sure there'll be some changes.
Yeah, and I'm very easy to find, too. If anything ever comes up that you guys don't think of or want to discuss here in this forum, you can email me. It's just joe@grattaproperty.com, GRATTA. You can just Google me or find me anywhere that way, too. And I'm happy to meet with you privately. I'm happy to talk to you about anything. I'm happy to answer any of your emails. If you have suggestions, if you know somebody who would like to lease the space down here, I mean, that you think could be a good contributor to the area, feel free to reach out, right? Like, I'm very easy to find.
Councilor DeFazio, do you have anything?
Yeah, just a couple. So are there 2 entries for cars to be parked?
Yeah, so there are 2 layers of parking. Oh, I don't think he could hear you.
One on the front and one on Cottage
Yep,
Street?
so let me bring this one back up. You'll see right here, we have, you have an entryway here on 750 Broad, right in the corner, over here on the, looking at it, the right side, left side of the building. And then in the back, we have another entryway for cars. The smaller door, because there are 2 in the back, is actually the where the trash chute goes, so the trash company can come in and out without interference, and keeping that from just being open to the elements. So you do have 2 entryways. One goes to a lower garage, one goes to an upper garage.
So they're 2 separate garages?
Yes.
Okay. And the height of the building, as compared to the height of the building right now, what's the difference?
It's not a lot, actually. So it's a 3-story building as it is. This is 4, but it's set back as required by the zoning in the area. So you can see that the 4th story is actually is set back behind it by the 20% required, so you don't have, again, the canyon effect we talked about.
Okay.
And that, as a result of it, it's just a little bit taller than what we have, although it's a very tall 3 stories we currently have with the Hunts building. Nope. This is why we usually do this digitally.
So, and it does look like the face of the front of the building, the vertical, comes right up against the sidewalk area? So it's it goes street, sidewalk, right to the building?
Yes, and you'll see that it's sort of, there's a lean here, there's nothing directly above this commercial space, and it actually comes out. So there's more open space as it comes over here, sort of where the
Okay.
building currently lies, and then it moves a little bit forward for the front entrance, and then further out onto the corner as it comes out. And part of that was done intentionally. When we were talking with the planning board.
some landscaping,
Yes, you
yeah.
want to have some layers and it to appear diversified on the front of the building. Otherwise, it does just look like a flat corner coming into that section of Broad Street. Because this really is your entry level into where the rest of Jackson Square starts. If you look at where your zoning map is, we're the first one that you pass through when you're coming down Pleasant. So we want to create this sort of very opening gateway when you're getting into this lower Jackson Square level.
So I can assume that you and Mr. Luongo have spoken together about the quality of the materials on the outside of this building?
Yes, extensively. We have we've had, I think, 3 or 4 meetings about that, and we have some coloring samples and stuff we've gone through to kind of end up where we are now.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor DeFazio. Mr. Luongo, do you have anything?
Sure, just a couple of comments. So this needs to go before the zoning board of appeals. So Mr. Grotta has not submitted his application yet. I believe you want to go before the board in March.
Probably target March for the board meeting, yes.
So there would be a public notice about that meeting in March, and public's free to come and comment on it. Just a couple of things. This zoning that Mr. Grotta is building under is part of the, actually qualifies for the MBTA Community Zoning Act, if you've been reading about that. So any community that has a rapid transit or commuter rail station was required to zone areas around those stations for denser development. The city of town of Weymouth actually did the zoning before the MBTA Communities Act came into being, and this zoning qualified for it, so we didn't really have to do anything in the town to qualify, because the town realized the center needed some density because it was close to the MBTA commuter rail station. Council approved of this. I think Mayor Melise was on the council at the time when it got approved. As Councilor DeFazio said, we're going to hold Mr. Grotta to high standards with materials for the building. That's important to us. We want to make sure all HVAC systems are screened and are baffled for sound noise, so it doesn't disturb the neighborhood. So we have some pretty strict guidelines that Joe understands.
I can comment on that. Owning an HVAC company, the type of systems that we installed over at Weston Park actually are maximum of about 35 decibels, which
That's
is much
really
more than
low.
rustling
Yeah,
leaves.
that's really
So,
good.
yeah, those are done through what's called a variable refrigerant flow system. So because of that, they're double tempered in the
Yeah.
amount of refrigerant and concentration that it uses. You're going to see a lot lighter noise come off of those systems. So you could not, if you're on the roof, where we've hosted a few events there actually, you really can't hear those running, turning on and off. It's
Awesome.
not
No, that's
clicking
great.
noises. There isn't any of that. So we're pretty fixated on.
Yeah.
We're going to start with HVAC, build around it.
So just so everyone understands, this goes through a review process once he files the application. That means everyone, that's anyone in the town gets to look at it. Health department, obviously the building department, the fire department, the police department. We have a traffic engineer on staff in the planning department. He will be looking at it. We'll be looking for, the traffic counts to make sure it's not going to cause any problems. These type of residential buildings, everyone doesn't come into the building at the same time or leave at the same time, so it's staggered. So it's not going to be like an office building, everyone comes in at 8:30 and leaves at 5 o'clock. But we still will look at the traffic issues, and stormwater management will be looked at by the engineering department. So there's a whole vetting process that goes through this. They will give reports to the Zoning Board of Appeals at the time of the public hearing, and any issues, the developer is required to address those concerns from the town. So I think we're pleased with the project, the way it's evolving so far, and we hope to see the detailed plans together on the March meeting.
Thank you, Bob. Mr. Lacy, anything?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Joe, can you tell the group what variances or special permits you'll be requesting for this project?
Sure. The only special permit we require is actually related to the height restriction, which requires us to have 10% affordable housing as a part of our application. So required of this, 3 units will be affordable housing units in here, and that's the special permit consideration that we need from the zoning board.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's an important point. I'm glad you mentioned that, TJ. The developer is required to set aside 10% of the units, which is 3 units, as affordable housing units. So that is embedded in the zoning that the town council approved a couple of years ago on it. So 10% of the units will be affordable, meaning anyone making 80% of the median income of the Boston metropolitan area would be qualified for those 3 units. It will be there's a process that Mr. Grotto will have to go through, so they'll be offered through a lottery system, and it will be monitored, and those units will count towards the town's affordable housing units that we're required to have as well. So if you know anyone who might be interested in it, it's too early to apply for it now, but just keep that in mind.
Thank you, Mr. Luongo. Anybody from the public? Any questions? Everybody sit here?
All right.
Appreciate everybody coming out this evening and taking an interest in this. It's great. We'll be following up with other meetings coming forward. Thank you, Joe, for coming together with the presentation here this evening.
No problem. And again, joe@grottoproperty.com. If you ever want to shoot me an email, ask any questions, please feel free.
And I'd just like to say that Councilor Rick Coughlin is out here too in the audience. I didn't see him when I first opened the meeting. Thank you for being here.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.